On my son's 10th birthday, my nephew got a huge party and a new iPhone. My son got a leftover cupcake and a card that said, "Be more like Golden One." Everyone laughed. I pretended I wasn't upset. That night, I packed a small bag, took my son, and left with $50. A week later, my mom called, crying. "It's urgent. Come back." We didn't know that. My name's Chris. I'm 33, a house painter who's learned every shade of off-white that exists. I rent a small 2-bedroom, keep my brushes and coffee cans, and I'm the dad who shows up with paint on his jeans to school pickup. My son, Leo, turned 10 last Saturday. He's the kind of kid who drifts to the quiet corner at parties and lines up toy cars by color. My job is to keep that quiet corner safe. We were at my sister's place. Balloons already up, barbecue smoking, music too loud for the yard. It wasn't for Leo. "Okay, everyone, count down for the Golden One," my sister. Tara yelled. Her son, my nephew Ethan, stood on a chair wearing a paper crown that literally said Golden One. People cheered like he'd won a Nobel. He's 11. It was his pre-birth bash because schedules are tricky according to Tara. Somehow tricky meant the only Saturday I'd asked for months in advance. I leaned to my mom. "You remember it's Leo's birthday today." 10. She smiled like a customer returning paint without a receipt. "Don't make this about you." There it was. First hit to the ribs. I swallowed and focused on Leo. He was holding his gift bag for Ethan, a pack of holographic Pokemon sleeves he bought with his own allowance. He had wrapped it himself. The edges looked like a map. Ethan tore through presents. Nerf rifle. Drone, a new iPhone. The box slid across the table toward him like a silver fish. Everyone clapped. "Try not to cry, Chris." Tara laughed, eyes on me. "We just wanted him to have something nice for once." Once I said, Dad cleared his throat. "Don't be dramatic." I kept my mouth shut. I've learned silence is safer. Leo squeezed my hand and tried to look impressed for his cousin. When Ethan blew out candles, someone shoved a leftover cupcake toward Leo on a paper plate. The frosting smudged like primer. Then a card, big gold letters on the front. "Be more like Golden One." Inside, someone had written, "Work harder. Smile more. You'll get there." People laughed. My mom actually clapped. Leo looked at me like I'd promised a rainbow and handed him a beige wall. "Buddy," I said, voice steady. "We're good." Tara raised a glass to Ethan. The standard I stood. "Bathroom," I muttered. In the hall mirror, I saw my own jaw set the way it does before I cut in along a ceiling line. Slow, clean, no drips. When I came back, Ethan had my son's gift bag. "You didn't have to, Leo," he said, not looking up. The phone camera flash popped again. "I'm sorry," Leo whispered. "For what?" I asked. "For not being enough to get a real party." That line hooked somewhere deep. I felt it. A thin, mean tug. "Hey," I said, kneeling. "You're enough every day." He nodded, but he didn't believe me. Not in that room. Not with that crown. Not with the card. I pretended I wasn't upset. I laughed at the right moment. I ate the cupcake. I thanked people who didn't look at us. I collected the greasy paper plate like I worked there. That night, I packed a small bag, put $50 cash in my pocket, woke Leo, and left. No speech, just shoes, toothbrushes, his favorite hoodie, my work belt, and the sketch he made of a blue house with a red door. A week later, my mom called crying. "It's urgent. Come back." We didn't know that. Click. I didn't answer. I already knew what we were not going back to. I'm the oldest, the capable one, the guy who paints for cash and fixes what he can't afford to replace. My sister got handed things. I got handed brushes. After Dad's back went bad, I spent years patching drywall in the mornings, spraying fences at night, then sending money to cover little gaps in the family budget. Every December, Tara's little gap wore a gold bow. Ethan's private school booster fees. My mom called it family investing. I called it my overtime. If I ever said no, I was the selfish one. The phrase rolled off their tongues like I'd asked to repaint the moon. When Tara's ex skipped child support, guess who covered soccer camp? When Mom's car needed tires, guess who found the cheapest shop and quietly paid? You're good with money, she'd say. What she meant was, I knew how to starve gently. The summer Leo started 3rd grade. My landlord hiked the rent. I told family I was short. Proud of me tasted like chalk. Tara said, we're tight right now with Ethan's robotics. My mom offered a solution. Move in with us for a bit. You pay utilities, we'll help with childcare. It sounded like a life raft. It was a leash. We lasted 2 months. Mom didn't help with childcare. She scheduled me. You can pick Ethan up, can't you? You're already at the school. When I landed a big exterior job, she said, can you rearrange? Family first. Leo stood by the door with his backpack, learning that our time was negotiable. At night after Leo slept, I'd sand trim and listen to the house. Tara's voice in the kitchen. Chris could try harder. Painting isn't a real career. Mom, he's always been sensitive. I stayed because of Leo. He loved the backyard mango tree. He liked that grandma's dog followed him like a small storm cloud. He liked any place people were laughing, even if it wasn't for him. 3 weeks before the double birthday weekend, I asked to reserve Saturday morning for Leo. Well, do a simple thing, I said. Donuts at the park. Kite if there's wind. Tara reacted like I tried to book the Super Bowl. We already have Ethan's friends coming. It's not my fault you never plan. You picked the one day I asked for. I said schedules are tricky. She smiled at Mom. Also, Chris, maybe you could pitch in for the new phone. You know how kids get bullied without one. He's 11. I said. Mom sighed. Chris, you don't want Ethan to feel less than. Leo leaned into me. Do I need a phone to not get bullied? He whispered. You need a dad who doesn't buy phones for other people, I whispered back. The week crawled. I finished a duplex interior. Ceiling lines sharp enough to cut a finger. Baseboards that could moonlight as mirrors. I got paid Friday, cash in an envelope. I put $50 in my wallet, $40 toward Leo's shoes, and the rest toward rent. I texted the family group chat a photo of Leo's donut tower plan. 10 donuts, 10 candles, 1 kite drawn badly in the corner. The typing bubble appeared then vanished. Tara sent a thumbs up sticker. Saturday came. You know the rest. Golden 1 got confetti cannons. My kid got a leftover cupcake and a motivational card. We drove back to my apartment in silence. Leo held the card like a law. When we pulled in, he said really quiet. Maybe if I was more like Ethan, Grandma would. Stop, I said. He stopped. Kids learn where their dad's voice breaks. In the apartment, I looked at our calendar. The one I kept with painter's tape on the fridge, blue dots for jobs, yellow for school breaks, red for rent. I kept staring like maybe another color would appear. One where I didn't have to choose between groceries and gas. At midnight, I slid $50 into my pocket, packed a small bag, and woke Leo. He didn't ask questions. He never did at midnight. Not since the night we left his mom's place 2 years ago with a pillowcase of clothes and a stack of coloring pages. He trusts the version of me that moves without noise. We took the bus to a short-stay motel near the river, the kind next to a taco truck and a laundromat. The clerk looked at my paint-stained hands and didn't ask for a deposit. Cash, he said. Cash. The room smelled like lemon cleaner and cigarette apology. Leo brushed his teeth without being asked, then crawled into the first bed he saw. Is this a trip? He said. Yep, a small one. Do trips have donuts? He said, hopeful. They do now. I turned off the lamp and stared at the ceiling, counting the dots in the texture like I'd count nail holes before I let myself feel it. All of it. The laughter, the phone, the card. Then I let it dry. One coat wasn't going to cover the wall, but it was a start. The next morning, I texted my boss for Monday's exterior. Can I start at 6 a.m.? Need to leave by 2. He texted back a thumbs up and a ladder emoji. By noon, I had 3 plans and no safety net. Plan A, stay invisible, work, save, wait out the month, and move quiet. Plan B, ask for help from the 2 people who'd offered before, my neighbor, Mr. Ortiz, and the cafe owner who hires me cash for odd jobs. Plan C, tell the family to stop treating my son like a mirror for their favorite child. I knew Plan C would start a war. I also knew I couldn't keep painting a rotten wall and pretending the color was the problem. 2 days passed. I didn't answer calls. Mom left messages with sharp edges. Chris, this is childish. Bring Leo back. We'll make it up to him at Ethan's thing next weekend. Also, Tara needs you to hang the banner. Be a team player. Team player meant free labor. Wednesday night, the motel TV was showing a cooking competition on mute. Leo drew a house with a red door. This time, he drew 2 stick figures on the porch. Just us. He shaded in a pine tree. Do we have to go back? He asked. Not if you don't want to. He nodded. I don't. I opened my notes app and started listing boundaries. I wrote them like job specs. No more paying for Ethan's anything. No more schedules are tricky. No more jokes at my son's expense. No more gifts asked from uncle. No more group chat ambushes. Then I added one more line. A color I should have used years ago. No more showing up where we're not wanted. The next morning, Tara texted, since you're being dramatic, don't worry about Saturday. We've got professionals for Ethan's VIP party anyway. Professionals? Of course. I screenshot the text, saved it to a folder named Walls. I had a feeling I might need to show the whole room later. Friday night, the cafe owner, Lena, slid me a leftover panini and said, you look like a man who needs to draw a line. I already did. I said, I just haven't told anyone. Then tell them, she said. Use words short like nails. So I did. I texted the family group chat. Lo, and I are staying somewhere else for a while. We're safe. Don't contact us unless it's about Leo's safety or health. I will not attend or fund Ethan's party. Stop making jokes about my kid. If you do, we're done. The typing bubble came up like a slot machine. Mom, don't turn your back on family. We didn't know you were going to be sensitive about the card. Tara, wow. Okay, we'll put you down as no for Saturday. Can you at least drop off your drill? The decorator needs to mount the photo wall. Silence for me, Dad. Chris, be reasonable. Your sister's done a lot for you. I laughed in the motel room. Quiet, so I wouldn't wake Leo. Like what? I typed then deleted it. I promised myself. Facts, not fireworks. I sent one more message. Itemized list attached. I attached a PDF. Dates, amounts, screenshots of transfers, whose event it was for. Soccer, robotics, camp, banners, cake, balloons. I added photos of me painting their living room. Free 2 summers ago. I added the text where Tara asked me to be a team player and cover the phone down payment because you make cash anyway. Then I wrote, this is the last time I explain. If you want access to us again, you apologize to Leo for Saturday in person. No excuses. You also stop asking me for money, rides, or free labor. If you think I'm playing, I'm not. Tara pinged back instantly. You keep receipts now. That's petty. I stared at the screen. I keep receipts because you keep rewriting stories. Send. 5 minutes later, a new message popped up. A photo. Ethan grinning, holding his new iPhone up to a cake that said, Golden One in metallic icing. The caption, so excited for tomorrow. Mom added a heart. Dad added a thumbs up. I set the phone face down on the nightstand. I didn't throw it. I was done performing anger for people who turned it into a joke. At 11:06 p.m., my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Is this Chris? A woman's voice. This is Andrea from Northside Elementary. Ethan told a few kids tomorrow is his VIP party and said Leo wasn't invited because he's not at that level. I thought you should know. The room got small. Thank you, I said. After I hung up, I looked at Leo asleep, one hand in a bag of crayons. I opened the group chat and typed, "We're done." Tara replied with a string of laughing emojis. Over a joke, I typed over a system. Then I blocked them. All of them. Saturday morning. Ethan's party filled my sister's page like a billboard. I didn't look. Leo and I went to the park with a dollar store kite and 10 donuts. The wind showed up. So did Mr. Ortiz with his dog. So did Lena with paper cups and juice. Leo ran with the kite until his cheeks went red. He laughed, not to prove a thing, just because the string tugged and the kite didn't need a crown. At noon, my phone lit up with private number. Mom's voice came through wet and frantic. Chris, it's urgent. Come back. We didn't know that. I hung up. Not because I didn't care, because I had learned the pattern. Crisis to bait. Guilt to hook. Be reasonable to real. If it was truly urgent, she could text details. She didn't. She sent 13 missed calls. And please, it's about family. We were not family the way they meant it anymore. We moved fast the next week. Lena offered her upstairs room for a month. It's not fancy, she said, but it smells like cinnamon and no one will laugh at your kid. Mr. Ortiz had a friend with a studio above a barbershop. Cash month to month. No questions. 2 windows. 1 sink. A view of pigeons arguing on a wire like uncles at Thanksgiving. I said yes. I took every exterior job I could. 6 a.m. ladders. 2 p.m. pickup for Leo. Homework at the cafe. Second coats after bedtime. Leo made the studio hours. He taped his drawings along the baseboard like a miniature gallery. He lined up his cars by color on the sill. He wrote a new sign for the door. Home base. On Friday, I walked past a pawn shop and saw a second-hand bike with a bell. $10. I bought it. Leo said it was quiet fast, which is the perfect speed for a scared dad. Mom texted from a new number. You've made your point. Enough. I didn't reply. Dad, your mother is sick over this. Just apologize and bring Leo. I typed and deleted. Typed and deleted. Then I sent a single sentence. Apologies go to the child you humiliated. Send nothing. Tara posted a photo dump. Ethan on a bounce house. The iPhone box. A cake that probably cost my July rent. The last picture was a pile of gift envelopes. The caption community loves our golden one. I turned my phone off. Monday after school, Leo asked, do we still talk to Grandma if we see her at the store? We say hello. We keep going. What if she cries? We keep going. He nodded. Kids understand traffic rules better than most adults. Bye. Wednesday, my shoulders stopped riding my ears. The studio looked less like a stopgap and more like a choice. Broom in the corner, 2 mugs, 1 tiny cactus, a thrifted lamp that made the room feel like a soft yes. We built routines. Mornings, I packed a thermos and Leo's lunch. Afternoons, he did spelling while I taped off trim. Evenings, we read. Sometimes he asked about his mom. Sometimes he didn't. I never made him choose, which hurts to carry. 3 weeks in, work picked up. A contractor I'd helped on a rush job called. I need a guy who shows up, he said. I pay on Fridays. Clean lines. No drama. I don't do drama, I said. He laughed. Then you'll like this crew. He was right. It was ladders and radio and men who passed around sandwiches at noon. It was 2 jokes, then silence when the roller hit. It was a boss who said, good cut-in, and meant it. I kept the receipts folder updated. Not to post to remind myself why I left when the old voice whispered, maybe you overreacted. Screenshots dates the card be more like golden one, that don't make this about you, that don't be dramatic, the cupcake, the crown, the look on Leo's face when he thought being loved meant wearing a word on your head a month later. We had $760 in a shoe box and first month's rent for a real place, still small, still cheap, but ours. The landlord didn't care about my credit. He cared that my reference said he leaves the place cleaner than he found it. The night we signed, Leo asked if we could paint his room ocean. I said, budget says we start with 1 wall. He nodded and chose the wall with the window. We bought a gallon called Blue Whisper. It went on patchy and then settled into itself like relief. 2 months in, my sister messaged from a new account. Tara, okay, you win. Happy. No apology. No mention of Leo. I didn't answer. Tara, Mom's been crying for days. Ethan's confused why you're mad at him. I typed, I am not mad at a child. Delete. I typed. Ethan is 11 and already speaks the language of entitlement better than adults. Delete. I sent. Tell Ethan happy birthday. Tell him the card was cruel. 3 dots. Then a voice message. Chris, Tara said breathy. We didn't know the card would land like that. It was a joke. You're making us look bad. Oh, there it was. Not. We hurt Leo. We look bad. I didn't reply. People who don't understand the difference between guilt and harm don't understand apologies either. School started. Leo's teacher wrote, "Lo is kinder this fall." I asked what she meant. She said he'd always been kind, but now he didn't flinch when people laughed. That hit me like a step you don't see. Kids shouldn't have to become less afraid as a personality upgrade. I told Mr. Ortiz on the stairs. He squeezed my shoulder. "Boundaries are paint tape," he said. "Keep the color where you want it." We kept going. Then, for months after we left, the family group chat. Yes, I checked from a burner email, because sometimes curiosity is a slow leak. Blew up. A cousin posted a photo of Ethan at school. Someone recognized the phone brand and asked in the comments who bought it. Tara answered, "We paid cash because we work hard for our kid." A relative who lent the money last spring replied, "With what?" Mom jumped in. "Mind your business." Another cousin added, "Chris used to help. Now he's selfish." I closed the tab. It wasn't my job to debate people committed to their own version of events. That night, the cafe was quiet after closing. Lena mopped. I touched up the front door trim because my hands like to move when my head is loud. I looked at the glass and saw me exhausted, lighter, a little older in the eyes. I thought about what I want Leo to remember when he's 33. Not a crown, not a card. A dad who left when staying was cheap but costly. The next morning, I woke to 3 voicemails. Mom, then Dad, then Tara. I set my phone down, poured coffee, buttered toast. I listened after I'd eaten. Mom, it's your fault he's spoiled. Delete. Dad, we're having a family meeting Sunday. Delete. Tara, Ethan's being bullied now. Are you happy? He left his phone in his locker because he's scared to be seen with it. I paused. Kid stuff is sharp. It cuts everybody standing nearby. I texted directly to Tara. If you want advice, teach him to be kind when he has something other kids don't. Teach him not to laugh at someone's cupcake. Teach him to apologize to Leo. That will help more than hiding a phone. She wrote back, "Wow, I put my phone away," and mixed blue whisper for Leo's second wall. A week later, the call came. The one that started with crying. "Chris," Mom said, "it's urgent. Come back." We didn't know that the school would call CPS because someone told them you took Leo without telling us. I leaned on the counter. "I'm the custodial parent," I said. "You know that." We didn't know they'd take it seriously. That sentence told me everything. They never considered serious until someone else said it out loud. "Do not call CPS again," I said. "Do not call the school. If you're worried about Leo, text me. Otherwise, step back. You can't be this cold. I can be a dad." I hung up and emailed the school a copy of the custody agreement. I attached screenshots of the harassment log my neighbor had encouraged me to keep. I CC'd counselor. Facts, not fireworks. Then I went to work and cut in around a ceiling fan while the radio played a song about people who never say sorry and call it love. I don't have a Hollywood ending. I have a Thursday night where Leo and I ate pancakes for dinner because the grocery store had a sale on eggs, and sometimes sweetness is currency. We watched a video about how to build a kite that won't nosedive. We argued about whether turtles can be fast. He laughed with his whole face. That's enough. Boundaries didn't fix my family. They fixed my side of the street. Mom still sends articles about stubborn sons. Dad still believes men who say no are ungrateful. Tara still posts the gold sticker version of her life, but none of them decide for us anymore. Last weekend, Leo had a real birthday party. 6 kids from his class, 2 kites, pizza warmer than the room. I stacked paper plates like shingles and didn't count who thanked me. Ethan showed up with Tara for the first half hour. He handed Leo a drawing he'd made of a robot holding a cupcake. No crown, no card, just a kid trying again. "Sorry about last time," he mumbled. Leo shrugged. "Do you want a donut?" "Yeah." They ate on the step like truce. Tara hovered. She didn't meet my eyes. That's okay. This isn't about her seeing me correctly. It's about my son seeing himself correctly. When everyone left, we sat on the floor and opened the small gifts, stickers, a book about paper airplanes, a pack of pencils with tiny sharks. Leo held up the shark pencils like he'd caught something big. Dad, he said, yeah. Do I have to be the golden one? No, I said. You just have to be Leo. He smiled the first smile I'd seen that didn't check the room for permission. That night, I taped off one last wall in his room and rolled on a color he picked himself. A bright, ridiculous blue. He called sky loud. It went on streaky and then evened out like relief always does. People ask if I miss having a big family. I tell them I have one. It fits in a studio when it needs to. It knows how to fly a kite. It knows what to do when a call comes in with too many exclamation points. Here's the moral I'm carrying into every room I paint from now on. I won't let anyone write "I'm my kid" and call it a joke. I won't be the bank, the punchline, or the backup plan. If you show me who you are with a crown and a card, I will believe you, and I'll leave. And when my mom calls next time to say, "We didn't know," I'll remember that knowing is free. It's choosing that costs. I've paid enough. We're done paying. We're living. That's the whole story. The wall's dry, and the color finally looks like